Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, not here with Geeky Sparkles. She's sitting this one out. We're going to talk about Call of Duty 7. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Apparently it's not doing so well, or at least the game press out there would like you to believe it's not doing so well. And I have to wonder if there isn't a little bit of a schadenfreude here, because gaming journos discovered that this game was developed in part with AI. And the outlets that are slamming on it the hardest would be like PC Gamer, The Gamer, a couple others. They're very, very anti-AI. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with a lot of the backlash, or maybe the game is just complete ass. I have no idea. I'm going to be honest. I don't really care that much about Call of Duty. I don't really care that much about first-person shooters in general. If I do play them, it's usually a boomer shooter. I haven't touched a Call of Duty game in probably 10 or 12 years. I do not care. But it is a bellwether of the health, I think, of the gaming industry. And if it's not doing well, then I got to wonder what's going on. If Call of Duty is not doing well, what the hell is going on? So we're going to take a look into this controversy. Maybe we'll discover is a controversy. But we're going to look at both sides of the coin here and see what's up with Call of Duty. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, go out to more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV. Let's start here. This is coming from Eurogamer. Fewer people are playing Call of Duty this year than they have been before. Why has Call of Duty Black Ops 7 seemingly sold below expectations? Is it simply not that good? So they said there's been a lot of chatter surrounding Call of Duty Black Ops 7 since launch. The latest release in a juggernaut franchise, some are seeing cracks in the armor due to a mixed reception to various parts of the game, as well as the little data we have pointing to surprising sales figures. Okay, it's no secret that this year is a tough one all around for the video game industry, but it's also true that the last month or so has been packed full of big releases that could theoretically challenge Call of Duty Black Ops 6. They're talking about Battlefield 6, as mentioned previously, as well as Arc Raiders, which remains a powerhouse. Arc Raiders also used AI, by the way, for voices. Are these the main two sources of what ails Call of Duty, or is it something else, or perhaps is Call of Duty fine? All right, so to help me find out what's going on with Microsoft's heaviest hitter, I sat down with two experts on the numbers behind the headlines in the video game industry. We have Chris Dring from the game business, and then Reese Elliott, head of market analysis at Alinea Analytics, a company that has continuously published sales estimates for a variety of titles in recent months. So Dring says, how has it been selling? Well, below expectations. I don't know what they were expecting. That's the first thing I'll say. It seems lower for us because we're used to certain numbers. Call of Duty has had a hard year. It had a spectacular launch with Black Ops 6 12 months ago. That did very big numbers out of the gate, did very well on Game Pass, and sold very well too. Why do we need a new Call of Duty every year? I'm just saying. But actually, I tracked daily active users, and all year Call of Duty's numbers have been quite low, lower than usual. There have been some exceptions, though. January was great coming off of Black Ops 6. There was a boost in April and May. But generally speaking, fewer people are playing Call of Duty this year than they have been before. That's despite Black Ops 6 as the previous game being brilliant in people's eyes. It's a typo on their part. In fact, in September, it was the lowest point I'd ever seen Call of Duty since the launch of their Call of Duty HQ. So it's just been slightly lower. It's been a tough year for Call of Duty, but it's not the only game to have a tough year. Fortnite, too, has dipped a bit. Well, I think games like Fortnite are eating into it. And PUBG and Counter-Strike. And you've got a lot of like Call of Duty-ish games that are free. I have to buy a new one every year. I'm just saying. This other guy says Call of Duty is underperforming this year due to a combination of community burnout, questionable creative and business decisions by Activision, Microsoft, and strong competition. Xbox dropped the ball on the wrong year. Yes, this is kind of a follow-up to the video I did yesterday talking about the state of Xbox right now. It's not good, guys. Their console sales were abysmal this year. And Call of Duty, I think, is suffering for that. This year saw some of the most exciting shooter releases in years. One of the reasons for the decline is intense rivalry. Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders. The new Battlefield title had a massive launch, securing the biggest opening in the franchise history. arc has sold almost 8 million copies so far, and the latest Fortnite Simpsons crossover is a hit, so attention is scarce. Players have expressed growing dissatisfaction with Call of Duty's lack of innovation, feeling that the franchise is ailing. The introduction of Fortnite-like cosmetic items like non-military character skins, Beavis and Butthead, Nicki Minaj. When the hell did this happen? I missed this. I thought Call of Duty was like the more realistic shooter. Fortnite was for the kids. And if you were serious, you played Call of Duty, right? But we've got Beavis and Butthead and Nicki Minaj. Okay, great. It's alienated a significant portion of the fan base who prefer more grounded military aesthetic. The co-op campaign was a major point of criticism. It was uneven and tedious. Player reception was also largely negative, with mostly negative Steam user scores and review bombing galore. Long-standing player frustrations, like perceived impact of skill-based matchmaking, Microsoft's decision to put Black Ops 7 on Game Pass on day one. Wow. Has cannibalized traditional full-price game sales on Xbox and PC, with last year's game losing $300 million in potential sales due to the service. Yeah, you're not going to make a Netflix for games. I'm sorry. It's not viable. It doesn't work that way. It's not going to... The marketing for Black Ops 7 was pretty abysmal and underwhelming. Let's see what else we have here. They're just going on. They're talking about Black Ops 7. Certainly, while there are issues that certainly aren't helping it, the attention economy is oversaturated in general, especially in the live service genre, which is highly zero-sum. For many major publishers, inspired by the runaway success of games like Fortnite, Roblox, they piled into the live service market seeking quick profit. But the gold rush has largely concluded, so the big live service players, the incumbents, if you're addled with consultant brain like me, are continuing to dominate the segment owing to inertia and improvements to their content. Yeah, I think a lot of people are just getting tired of, God, it looks like Fortnite. Is it Fortnite? Or that is Fortnite. Okay, never mind. I'm like, what are you doing, Call of Duty? That is freaking Fortnite. Yes, I see this now. Anyway, it's just like, yeah, they're just talking like people move on, they get tired of it and yada, yada, yada. Now, I think there's something else going on here. The reviews have not been great. And, everybody seems to be rooting for its failure, except for Game Rant. They're actually still on the side of Call of Duty. But if you go out to Google News and you look up Call of Duty Black Ops 7 AI, you're going to find a ton of anti-Call of Duty Black Ops 7 articles. And it's so weird because if you were anti whatever, any other game prior to this year, if you were anti-Starfield or anti-Suicide Squad or whatever, you were a bigot, homophobe, misogynistic, whatever. But if you hate on Call of Duty Black Ops 7, well, you're completely justified because they don't like Microsoft now for politics. It's they're going after Microsoft, and we cover this because they're throwing in with Israel. They don't like that. They're going after Microsoft because they're using AI. They don't like that. They're going after this franchise or any franchise that uses generative AI, even though pretty much every game developer is to some extent. And so I think that part of this, again, it's that Schadenfreude. I think they're delighting that this game is failing for a variety of reasons. Now, I do think Microsoft is a trash company. I'm not going to lie. I think it's not a great company. Activision Blizzard is a lost cause, for sure. But yeah, I mean, they're really not happy about the AI. It's very, very weird. They said that players were discovering extensive use of AI generated art in core parts of the game, like calling cards. They're calling the entire game AI slop. And this is a whole thing. Like, here's the problem. The problem is that it's going to get harder and harder to tell what is AI and what is not. And most developers, especially in video games, are going to adopt it pretty quick because it is a huge time saver. As long as you have humans signing off on the final product, and you're not doing anything unethical with it. I personally don't see what the problem is, but your miles may vary. But they're going to try to witch hunt every game developer using AI. And they were going after the folks behind Expedition 33. They actually took some awards away from them. But now Square Enix is even using AI. I got a short coming up on that, a video coming up on that. But yeah, it's just wild to see. So I don't know, guys. Are you playing Call of Duty still? Are you? I don't give a shit. Like I said, I haven't touched these games in like 10 years. If I'm going to play anything, it's going to be a boomer shooter because that's just what I like. I don't need hyper realism. We got robots and stuff in here. I don't think it's very hyper realistic. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.